Hola, estudiantes. I'm just going back to the first week of class, and just reminding you that we had Exploraciones Gramaticales dos, Ready and Learn It, and also Exploraciones Gramaticales uno. Those are just two of the grammar sections for chapter one. And those are both due by Monday, which is today when I'm doing the recording, by midnight. And then the other thing that you had to do, if you didn't do Exploraciones Lexicas uno for this past Thursday, I gave you an extension until today. So that's also due for today. So make sure that that's in. And then I did want to just remind you that you had to write this conversation between two people. It's 1.3. So it does say down here, and that's due by Monday as well. So if you click on the conversation, you're just going to write it, and you're just doing the conversación. So you want to go over what lines they would be and write them in there. So that's your homework, and that's due for today. So please, again, there's a bunch of assignments that have piled up in the first week if you were a little behind, but I want you to get back on track so that you're working just with the module that we're on, which is now we're going into module 2. We're in week 2 now, and we're going to be studying adjectives, the verb ser, talking a little bit about Spanish speaking countries and traditions. We're going to do noun adjective agreement and making nouns plural in Spanish. Also, just wanted to mention that our next class is going to be this Thursday, the 10th of September, and we meet at 4:40 to 5:55 on Zoom. So please come to class. It is considered, no one has emailed me, or if you did email me, I'll be checking that. But if you do have an issue with coming on Thursdays, I do need you to let me know right away so that I am not marking you absent. We have to come up with an alternative for you, and it probably will be doing an ed puzzle, just so that you still are able to follow the class and what we've done. So just communicate with me via email as soon as possible if Thursdays at 4:40 are a problem for you, because we do have a live class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if we go into week 2, we're just going to look and see what we owe. So this is now going to be due for Thursday by 4 p.m. And please respect the deadlines now that we're in the second week, because I'm not going to give a lot of leniency on that. So we're going to begin Exploraciones Lexicas dos. Remember, there's 2 lexica lessons in each chapter, and these are the vocabulary. So you're going to be going into los adjetivos in this new Lexicas dos. And then you're just going to look at so when I say ready and learn it, you're just going to look at the beginning of, it's just a little introduction to Gramaticales tres, which is the next topic. And I'll be teaching that on Thursday in class. So you're just kind of doing like a quick introduction. I just wanted to mention also that you have this discussion board that's also due for Thursday, and that's down here, so you can do that. It's in Blackboard, ready for you. If you have any issues with the discussion, please let me know. You can always send me the answers in via email and just let me know that you're turning them in. So what I'm going to do now is just ask you to identify some letters of the Spanish alphabet. And this is something that you hopefully have memorized by now, or just practiced enough that you can recognize the letters. So remember, we always want to do the A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. If you can please repeat that and just practice it. And you could do the little saying, A, E, I, O, U, el burro sabe más que tú. So I do need you to memorize the vowels by now, so that you can spell words and just in general have the alphabet down. So what I want to do first is, just after me, I'm going to be saying a word. And if you can just copy down, if you could just, you're going to have to do it in the ed puzzle. Just write down the letters of the word. Okay, here's the first one. De, E. Remember, A, E, I, O, U. The second letter was E. Then I have L, G, A, D, O. I'll repeat that. D, E, L, G, A, D, O. And the word was D, E, L, G, A, D, O. And the word is delgado, if you can say that. That's a person that's thin, a male that's thin. Delgado. Okay, here's the next one. The first letter is H, E, A, E, I, O, U. The second letter is E, J, O, S. So you should have a piece of paper down so that you're just writing it out and then you can put it into the Edpuzzle. So again, the letters are H, E, J, O, S. So H, E, J, O, S. And remember, H in Spanish is not pronounced, it's silent. So we're going to start with the E, the I. So it's, remember, J is more like an H sound. So it's hijos. Hijos, if you can please pronounce that. And that's the word for children in Spanish, hijos. Pronunciation is very important. You want to have the sounds correct because if you're going to speak it, which you will be speaking it a lot in this class and hopefully in the future, you want to make sure that you have the sounds correct. Okay, so here's another word for you. S, O, B, R, I, N, O. And I'll repeat. S, O, B, R, I, N, O. And the word was S, O, B, R, I, N, O. O. And that word is sobrino. Sobrino. So remember that A, E, I, O, U. You're actually pronouncing the vowels just like that. So it's sobrino. Sobrino. And sobrino is a nephew. Okay, we're going to do one more. All right, the first letter is P. E, R, R, O. And I'll repeat. P, E, R, R, O. And the word is, oh, I'll do it slowly. P, E, R, R, O. The word is perro. And remember, you want to try to roll your R by doing the word butter, 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 butter. Just keep doing that. And after a while, it will actually work. I've taught students this way. So perro is your word, and that's the word for dog in Espanol. Students, I just did look in MindTap, and there are several students who are not signed up for it yet, and we're now in the second week, and we're on the third assignment. So you definitely need to have your MindTap set up. I had told you in the meeting that it doesn't have to be the full subscription. You should have a one-term access for $88. That's how much it would cost. But you can have it for 2 weeks without paying. So if it's a financial reason, please get in there right away. It's right in Module 1, how to sign up, because the assignments are piling up now. And so please, we have that done and let me know if what's going on if you don't. So what I just want to do is do a quick overview of sustantivos, which are nouns in Spanish. So we know that if a noun ends in an S, if we want to make it plural, I apologize. So if a word ends in an O or any vowel in Spanish, we're going to put an S on there to be libros. Libro becomes libros. And the same thing with something, any vowel, A, E, I, O, U. But if you have a consonant like profesor or papel or lápiz, you're going to add es. So it's going to be profesores, papeles, lápices. And then the only thing that we have to remember in addition is that if a word ends in a Z, like lapis, the Z changes to a C, and then we add the ES because it's the consonant. So lapis becomes lapises. And some words you're going to see the accent. I'm not worried too much about accents with you guys now because you're still new to Spanish. So we're just going to be teaching you them. But in general, don't worry so much. You're going to have to learn where they go. So remember also, we talked about this in class on Thursday last week. If a word ends, a masculine noun is usually going to end in an O. We have to think of O's as masculine in Spanish with nouns and also adjectives. So a word like libro or cuaderno, those are both masculine. And then usually when we have el profesor, we know that's a male teacher, just like doctor, because if you look down, it becomes profesora and doctora for a female. So el profesor is going to be a male, but if it were la, like we could say la profesora, we're going to be learning that soon. That would be a female, but el profesor is the male teacher. And then el estudiante, that's a male student because it would be la estudiante if it were female. And we'll be learning about the definite articles el and la coming up. Remember, feminine nouns usually end in an A or oftentimes end in an A, and the words silla and pizarra are examples. It can, and we just talked about profesor and profesora. One little trick that I like to teach my students is that if you have any word that ends in S, and if you could please write this in your notes, SNORKLEZ. If a word ends in one of those letters, the noun is usually masculine. So, for example, lapis, it ends in a Z. We don't know if it's masculine or feminine based on the O, if it's masculine, and A if it's feminine. But in this case, because it ends in a Z, we know it's masculine. So we could say masculine for that. So any word that ends, usually we're saying it's not always the case. Like the word país means country. It ends in an S. So it has one of those letters in there. And yes, it's masculine. So it's el país. That's a masculine word. So let's just do a little bit of practice before we move on to the new topic for today. And what I'd like you to do is just write this down as we go along. So the word is mochila. I want you to tell me if it's masculine or feminine. And then I also want you to make it plural. Número dos is el lápiz. Just lápiz, perdón. You're going to tell me, is it masculine or feminine? Remember, snorkels, it ends in a Z. And what it would be in the plural. Número tres, we have papel. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to tell me if it's masculino or femenino. And then you're going to make it plural. Pupitre, is that masculino or femenino? Remember, I just taught you snorkels, if a word ends in one of these letters, then it's usually masculine. So the word papel, we want to know if it's masculino or femenino and make it plural. Same with pupitre. Is that masculino or femenino? And then you're going to make it plural. Reloj. So this word, it doesn't end in an O. It doesn't end in an A. So we don't, if it's masculine, it usually ends in an O. An A is feminine. But this is a J. Snorkels won't help us here. So this is just one we would have to memorize. I'm going to tell you that it's masculine. It ends in a J. But I want you to make it plural. And then bandera. Is it masculino or femenino? You have to look at what the word ends in. And then please make it plural. So here are your answers, if you could just check them. Número uno. This word is femenino because it ends in an A. And the plural would be mochilas. Número dos, lápiz. It ends in a Z. Snorkels tells us that words that end in Z's are oftentimes masculino, and that's true. We have to make that Z a C because it ends in a Z, and we're going to make it lápices. The word papel, it ends in an L. Snorkels will help us with that. And we're going to add an ES because it ends in a consonant, and we're going to have papeles. Pupitre ends in an E. Snorkels can help us. So that means that it's probably masculine, and it is. It's And then to make it plural, since it ends in a vowel, we're going to say pupitres. 5, we have reloj, clock or watch. Ends in a J. This is just one we have to memorize. I did tell you it was masculino, and you're going to change it to relojes because we're going to add an ES because of the consonant. Last word, bandera. Ends in an A, so usually words that end in A are feminine, usually. And we're going to add an S because it ends in a vowel, so we're going to have banderas. Okay, so we are now in Exploraciones Léxicas 2, and this is the second vocab section. And we're looking at different words in Spanish. We have el hombre, if you can just pronounce with me, el hombre, the man. And then we have la mujer, that's feminine, so that's the woman. And then we're looking at these adjectives. So we do want to make sure that we study these vocab words because we're going to need them throughout the rest of the chapter and also for the final exam or the final chapter 1 test at the end. I believe it's in week 3. And so what we're going to do is just say the word calvo and calva. The reason that there's the A there is because calvo, remember, is for males. So that would be a bald male, and calva would be for a female. Then you have alto and alta. Alto for a hombre and alta for a mujer. Mujer is woman. Then you have rubio and rubia. Rubio is blonde, so ella is rubia. Bajo, baja. Bajo is short, but for a female it would be baja. Then we have pelirrojo and pelirroja. So we have a redheaded male and female. Moreno, morena, and that would be a dark-haired person. Viejo, vieja, that's an older person. And then delgado, delgada, that's thin. Feo, fea, that's ugly, not the nicest word, but grande. See, grande doesn't have the A after that. It's just been grande for males and females. Bonito, bonita, it's pretty. And pequeño, pequeña, that's small. So these are some of the words. You're going to be doing the mind tap. You do have a few extra words that are in here too. It's going to be part of your lesson that you're going to learn. We have personality, we have physical, and we definitely need to memorize our vocabulary. So I would either make flashcards or just write these down as you go through. You could pause the video and write them down just so you know what they mean and you can reference them when you're doing your activities. Okay, so that is all I have for you for today for your lesson. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. It is the second week, so we want to make sure we're in motion now. And please communicate. Muchas gracias, estudiantes. I'll see you on Thursday at 4:40 on Zoom.